Welcome back to Making Me Watch Movies. The movie making me watch today is Home Alone, Christmas special for Making Me Watch Movies. We watched all of them. Jake watched all of them twice. Schwartz watched half of them.
I watched the good ones.
You think the three was good?
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
And to be fair, I feel like I only half watched all of them twice. So combined, I watched all of them once, other than the first two, which I've probably seen a million times, especially the first one.
Yeah, I went ahead and I didn't watch. I watched the first two, but I started with 3 this year.
Okay.
Yeah, because you didn't even need to watch the first two.
Don't even need to watch them.
Yeah,
So let's start with 3 then. Let's start with 3, 4, and 5 before we dive into 1 and 2. Or in 6. Did anyone see? You didn't watch the Yorgi one, Schwartz?
No, I did not watch the Yorgi one.
We're gonna go backwards. We're doing backwards.
Should we go backwards? Yeah, let's go backwards so that we can cover the one Schwartz didn't watch. We'll start with 4, the Yorgi one. I think it was terrible.
No, the Yorgi one's 6. That's Home Sweet Home Alone.
You right, 6. Let's start with the last one.
Home Sweet Home Alone.
Home Sweet Home Alone. That's what it's called.
Let me ask you guys this question because I didn't look this up just off the bat because I gotta know. Does Chris Columbus have anything to do with them after the second one at all? Anything?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I think the only carry through is John Hughes also wrote the third one.
Okay.
But after the third one, I believe it's just a bunch of fucking nonsense.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Because the third one did have some decent humor in it and stuff, so I saw the John Hughes presence. I think a bit.
Well, I mean, John Hughes has written a lot of great things. The thing is that Chris Columbus is one of the first directors that I loved, besides for Steven Spielberg, just because he made Adventures in Babysitting, and fucking that movie was one of the first movies that I saw that I was like, damn, that was pretty interesting. You know what I mean? Because I was pretty young. And it was made the year I was born, but I saw it probably when I was 6 or something like that. And
which one are we talking about?
I saw
the original.
Well, I'm actually just talking about John Hughes. I mean, not John Hughes, Chris Columbus. I asked him if Chris Columbus had anything to do with the movies after the first two, and he said no. But John Hughes did write the third one, and I was just telling him how besides for Steven Spielberg, Chris Columbus is one of the first directors that I really started to follow because I saw Adventures in Babysitting. I was like, that was a fun ass movie, and then I saw Home Alone and Home Alone 2, and after that he went on to do some pretty great stuff like Mrs. Doubtfire, of course, and I guess he did Stepmom and Bicentennial Man, which are 2 of my favorite movies.
Bicentennial Man, huh?
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean,
that's an OG,
it's a crazy movie.
That's a Robin Williams, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I remember that movie being about 2 hours too long.
Yeah, well, it's very dramatic and very kind of drawn out, but it's a very sweet movie, very heartfelt movie.
Just so the latest movie is John Hughes is credited as story by, but I don't think he had anything to do with it.
I mean, I think because he wrote the first one and they all have to do with the same type of story, he'll probably get that on every one that's ever made.
Actually, I think you're right. I think he may have a little bit of he may have consulted a little bit on the last one, I believe, because the last one, Home Sweet Home Alone, was probably the biggest budget one since probably the second one.
Yeah,
maybe the third one, because they have a lot of big names at least big names in the comedy world, I would say. For Home Sweet Home Alone, there's surprisingly a good cast. That's one of the only things that really hold this movie.
Name your favorite 2 other cast members.
Pete Holmes and probably the Ellie Camper was the kind of a villain. That's a weird thing about Home Sweet Home Alone is the fact that there weren't traditional villains. There's not burglary people. The plot is very convoluted
about it
in Home Alone.
Is there number one? The kid's the fuck up. It's the kid's fault. He stole something, right? I can't.
No, he didn't steal anything. They thought he stole something. It's just a big misunderstanding.
It's a big misunderstanding.
They
went
to the open house.
They're not nefarious at all. The bad guys. They just need whatever they need. They're just trying to get something back.
Right.
They don't want to hurt nobody.
Yeah.
They're not trying to steal anything. They just think that this kid has it, and this kid's like, go fuck yourself. The kid's in the wrong. I think the kid's in the wrong in this one.
The kid it's a misunderstanding because the kid doesn't realize that what they want, because it's Ellie Camper and Rob Delaney play this married couple that are about to lose their home, and they're having an open house. And Yorgi, or the kid in this movie, is named Archie. He's gonna be the Home Alone kid. Him and his mother go to the open house because they were like on their way to their actual house, but they pull into the like somewhere in their neighborhood because the kid has to pee that bad. And they go to this open house where they see this doll. This doll is like its head's upside down or something, or like the face is all deformed. And they have a conversation about like Yorgi, or we're gonna just call this kid Yorgi. Fuck it. Yorgi's like, hey, what's up with this
Archie
doll?
Yates.
Yeah,
Yorgi.
And somehow his mother knows, like, oh, these deformed dolls are actually worth a lot of money, blah blah blah. And they're like, okay, whatever. And the movie kind of moves on. And then later, Rob Delaney, the main guy, he Googles or goes on eBay to like try to find like what the doll is worth, and he finds out the doll itself is worth like $200,000. So he goes back to go get it and try to sell it online or whatever, and then he realizes the doll is gone. So they're trying to they think that the kid stole the doll because the kid was like commenting on it, looking at it. So they go to the house, and when the kid's house, and when they get to the house, it's kind of the classic beginning of Home Alone, the original, where all these family members are trying to leave to go to vacation. This time they're going to Tokyo instead of Paris. Very similar setup to the beginning of the original Home Alone. It's just the chaos with all these cousins. The family gets split up because the travel gets all fucked up. So half the family goes on one flight, half the family goes on another flight. His mother, Yorgi's mother, Kenan Thompson's the realtor trying to help them sell the house. Tons of big names. It's kind of funny.
Tons is pushing that.
So then what happens? This kid gets left behind again?
Yeah, exactly. So the kid gets left behind because he's same idea. He's being like a little brat in the beginning. Like, so the night before he was being a little brat. So he actually goes out and like sleeps in the car or some shit, and like goes watches like videos in the car. And again, like
what emo kid.
Right. And the family leaves in waves. So like the first half of the family leaves. He gets left to the second half. The second half of the family thinks he's already gone with the first part. So due to this misunderstanding, Yorgi gets left in the garage. Luckily, the car wasn't running because that would have been a whole different movie if it was. And we would have had a Midsummer going on.
Would have been the prequel to Casper.
Right.
No, it's a Prius.
Well, they still have some emissions, just very little.
It's true. Priuses aren't. It's a Tesla, I should have said.
It's going to take you like 2 days to kill yourself in a Prius.
I could do it. I could do it.
The kid gets left behind, then Yorgi.
Yeah, he gets left home alone.
Yeah,
and then they come to get the doll. Is that what happens?
Yeah, essentially they try to come get the doll, and he thinks there are people trying to like break into his house because they like overhear conversations like, we got to find the little ugly boy, and like they're talking about the ugly boy being referred to the doll, and he thinks they're trying to kidnap her. So it's typical scenario where they, we set up a bunch of booby traps, and they run through the gauntlet of booby traps. Random other bullshit happens between, like the poor couple's rich in-laws are visiting him, and that's actually where the doll was. It's like his stubborn or little bratty nephew is the kid that actually stole the doll, and they didn't know that till like the ending of the movie.
Yeah, so this kid doesn't even have the fucking doll?
No, the kid doesn't even have the doll. It's a big misunderstanding.
They think he has the doll. He doesn't. He thinks they're gonna kidnap. They want to kidnap him. They don't. And he just tortures these people when nobody just goes, hey, I'm actually looking for this, I'm not trying to, then nobody just, if they just had clear communication right off the bat, everything would be fine. Nobody in this big miscommunication wouldn't have happened.
Right.
Also at the end, they're just like, Christmas spirit, and they all like eat figgy pudding together, which I thought was stupid.
Yeah, then the family becomes best friends at the end.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, at the end,
there was no real wrongdoing. There was no criminals technically in this one.
At the end, they were just like, "Oh, I get it." What they should have done in the very beginning, it was so stupid. There's no bad guys. There's no good guys.
Sounds like it was terrible. Sounds like it was terrible.
So 5,
check that out.
Yeah, it had its moments. Like I said, the cast was the only saving grace. Let's just go look at the cast real quick. They had Andrew Daly was another good comedian. But yeah, that's right, Buzz. This was probably the only he was
a cop.
He was a cop, and he also owned. Yeah, he was Buzz McAllister.
He plays Buzz McAllister.
And he
Figures he's a
also
fucking cap.
owned the McAllister Security Company, which I think didn't
Oh,
work well or something
Was he
like that.
not a
So I think that
cop,
was
or was he
part of-
just a security guard?
I think he may have just been a security guard, but he's
God.
credited as Officer Buzz McAllister, so maybe it was both. He may have been a cop that also owned the security. It's a convoluted movie and it's a convoluted character, but I think this is maybe the only direct sequel technically to the original movies, because this is the only
Technically,
is the connection, because it's in the same like neighborhood and Buzz is the connecting character.
Yeah, and Buzz is like, yeah, you heard about my brother. He like fucked up a bunch of people a few years ago. He's pretty famous.
Yeah, where he's just like, no, he's like, there was a joke where he's like, no way, people are gonna leave their kids at home alone again. Like that already happened once. And they make little dumb like references throughout the movie where they're like at one point watching like remakes of movies and like, oh, they can't remake movies.
Doesn't he
Blah, blah,
keep
blah. I
he,
forgot what the movie
and
was.
every time the kid calls and he's like, I'm home alone and I need help. He he thinks it's a prank. He thinks someone's calling a prank on him. Or does he think it's Kevin? Doesn't at one point he's like, God damn it, Kevin, stop calling me.
I think so. Yeah, Buzz. He thinks there's pranks every year because they think they make fun of the scenario that already happened.
Good times. Terrible
Yeah.
movie. I give it a
I'm glad I
4
didn't
out
watch
of
that
10.
movie. That movie sucked.
Yeah, available and
3
streaming
point-
now on Disney Plus.
3.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Now what's the fourth one? Holiday Heist, I believe it's called.
Holiday. The fourth one. Yeah, the fourth.
Home
We're gonna talk
Alone
about five. Are we talking about five? Five
Alone
is Holiday
5.
Heist.
Holiday
Home Alone
Heist.
Holiday Heist. I don't think they have the 5 in the title technically, but it doesn't matter. Home Alone
Well,
Holiday
'cause
Heist.
it's
Who
all-
plays
This
Kevin
is
in
not.
this?
There's no Kevin. This is just. These are.
Yeah,
These are ones where they're separate.
Oh,
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This is not a Kevin. This is just a story about family moving from California to Maine, and this is the only one that
Baxter
actually doesn't
family.
take place in Chicago. I think, if I'm correct. Yeah,
Uh,
it's the only one that doesn't take place or have anything to do with or start in Chicago. I guess Lost in New York is in New York, but they start in Chicago at their family home, McAllister family home. But yeah, this one it's about like a boy and a boy, and he's actually not even technically home alone because his fucking teenage sister is there the whole time. So it
That's right.
starts.
they
yeah,
are
they
home
start-
alone.
Yeah, they start by moving across country because the mom has a new job, and
From California to Maine.
yeah, and I think the kids are being assholes, so the parents are like, "Okay, well, you're not coming to the Christmas party." So
Yeah,
the mom,
girl is
it's
there. The girl is very unhappy that they moved, and the 8-year-old Finn Baxter, he's convinced that the house is haunted.
which I enjoyed the storyline of that.
I
It's
thought that was
the
fun.
haunted.
There was like
Yeah,
because in the first movie, the house is kind of haunted to Kevin, like the furnace in the basement and shit.
Yeah, the furnace. Yeah,
I always thought that was we never. I mean, he just kind of overcame his fears. I guess that's what the movie's about.
right. That was more just explaining, like, showing the irrational fears of children at times, because what kid wasn't like afraid of their basement and whatever.
Well,
I think it was just like a relative point.
so yeah. What were you saying? They're going to a party. So, but before this, the bad guys. I can't remember who the bad guys are in this one.
This is Malcolm McDowell. Is in this? He's like the
That's
lead bad guy.
right.
What's his name himself? The fucking Clockwork Orange guy
Sinclair.
himself.
Alex.
Alex, thank
Sinclair.
you. Yeah,
Oh, Debbie Mazur's in this
Debbie
one.
Mazer as well. Yes,
Debbie
Debbie
Mazer.
Mazur's the
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
I
Of-
love Debbie Mazer.
Of
Vin-
Beethoven's
Vinny-
second
Vinny- yeah.
fame.
Or Vinny Chase's publicist in Entourage.
Or Ray Liotta's mistress in Goodfellas.
God bless you,
Debbie
Debbie
Mazer.
Mays. She's a bad guy. She's a good bad guy.
And then there's some other just goofy black guy, bad guy. I think is probably the first black guy in all of the Home
Eddie
Alone movies. Probably.
Steeples.
Yeah,
He plays Mr. Hughes.
yeah. He was kind of like the Marv of that group.
Yeah, I didn't really like him.
He wasn't as
He
good.
wasn't very funny.
No, I mean, it was hard to
gets his
hold up
mouth
next to
glued
these
shut.
like. Oh yeah, and it was hard for him to hold up next to these like top name people. Like he just kind of got lost in the shuffle of it all. But
So
yeah,
yeah,
their whole thing was that house it was old. It was like an old house that had like this
bootlegger.
cellar to it or something like that, like a hidden chamber to it that had like a bunch of old paintings. And there was like a painting that was like super valuable, and they knew about it because they knew who the previous owner was. So they were trying to break into the house to get to this secret room with the secret paintings that are worth a lot of money. And while this is happening, the main kid thinks it's haunted for a while, thinks it's ghosts.
Yeah, he's
trying to
convinced
fuck with
that
the
the
house.
bootlegger who died in there, he asphyxiated in his bed. He was still in. I can't remember what his name was, but the ghost of him was still haunting the house, and he keeps. That's what he thinks is going on, rather than people breaking in. And the people breaking in overhear that, and I think the Marv character, Mr. Hughes, he starts to believe that the house is haunted himself. So there's that. That's a fun plot line.
These movies sound awesome.
They're fucking great, dude. This
This
one's
one
better
was-
than the third one. Well, I mean, than the fourth one.
I agree. Yeah,
The
I think
fourth-
this one's better than the fourth one.
So yeah. What
The fourth
anything
one's
else notable
the
happened in
worst.
this movie? They're home alone because they go to the party. So they come to get that painting, and he fucks with them. He bakes cookies that are like, I forget what he puts in them, but it's like he puts like rat poison and pepper in the cookies. And,
What?
and
They
for
die?
some reason, I mean, he does pretty.
To be fair, everyone should have
True.
died in almost all of these movies
Any-
at some point.
anything,
Like they all
yeah.
have real bad fucking head injuries and shit, but they just keep going.
People
Especially-
definitely got concussions.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah,
Concussed.
Marv should definitely be fucking dead for
Yeah,
sure.
Marv.
Well, in the fourth movie, is that where we're at? 4? Is that the one where it is Marv?
Yeah, we
and
can
it
jump
is
to four.
McAllister.
Yeah. This is what's so bothersome about this. For some reason, all right, so Home Alone 1, Kevin is 9, Home Alone 2, Kevin's 10.
Yeah.
Then they make this fucking
didn't
movie
even think
10
about
years
this one.
10 years later.
10 years
In
later,
2002 this comes out.
parents are
it's a whole-
divorced.
It's McAllister's again. The parents are getting divorced. Kevin is 9 again, even though it's 10 years later, and he goes back in time, and somehow there's Marv again, but he's played by French Stewart and
Yeah, young Marv.
I don't-
Yeah,
it's just a completely different he doesn't look older, he doesn't look younger, he just looks completely different. And it's weird because he's wearing a Harry hat. He's almost dressed
So-
more like Harry than he is Marv.
let's
And
call
he's kind of like
let's call the 6th one a sequel. We call the 5th one a reimagining or a remake.
I think that one is like not a remake. This is it's almost like a spin-off. I think the fifth one is a spin-off. The fourth one is like a reboot. The
spin-off.
Because I also read that the fourth one was sort of like a backdoor pilot to like make a Home Alone series.
Okay, and
So-
if you
so-
and in the fourth one, there are those fade outs to what would be commercials. It seems like,
And it was a TV movie.
That's
4 and 5 were both TV movies. So at the
Copy.
time, this is when TV was normal.
Interesting.
because there are those
6 was
you
just
know
made
when it's
for
just like
streaming.
the end of a scene happens, it perfectly goes to commercial. Like that's
Right.
that you see
Because
that.
that was originally it did go to commercials because it was on I think it was on ABC
Nice.
Family.
You did
4 and 5 were.
homework, Jake.
Yeah, dog, I had a lot of time.
You ain't got no life. You a loser.
I did a lot of my research yesterday while watching the 6 Home Alone movies in the background of my research. Yeah.
So
Ooh,
4,
lots of time.
French Stewart's Marv, and what happens?
Kevin's parents are getting a divorce.
Thank God.
So his dad has this new like super rich, super hot girlfriend.
The parents aren't Catherine O'Hara and the other dude, right? They're new actors.
No,
but they're
complete-
ripoffs.
all-
they're like
all around.
Walmart ripoffs of them.
Yeah,
So
they
it's the
look-
Catherine O'Hara 2.0.
yeah, like they almost kind of look like him, but not
They
really.
do.
Like Catherine
one
O'Hara's
point,
amazing. Like you can't replace
Jillian-
Catherine O'Hara.
At one point, Jillian was like, "Is that the guy who played the original dad?" I was like, "No," but it it looks like he was at that fucking audition though, and he lost to the guy
Right.
that Ray Liotta wins to all the time.
10 years later, yeah. Like, yeah, call that guy that looked kind of like him, but we thought was too young at the time to be his dad. Yeah, okay,
Hey, there
that
you
guy
go.
now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's the guy that was
Now we're
that came
time
in for
traveling.
Buzz? That's true because that was a long time ago. Whatever. The dad
And then,
kind of looks like Ray Liotta, except without
and
that
then
fucking washboard texture.
All right, and then he still has Buzz and one of his
R.I.P. Ray Liotta.
sisters. But even though in the originals there was 5 McAllister kids,
Ray Liotta's
this time
dead?
there's only 3.
Ray Liotta died last year.
Fuck, I forgot about that. I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah,
Can't talk
R.I.P.
ill of the
R.I.P.
dead.
Ray.
I'm gonna cut that
Dude,
part
Ray
out.
Liotta's Ray Liotta's the best. All right,
That's where
so
it's
keep
gonna
going, Jake.
recontinue.
Sorry.
No worries. So he also has siblings. They're not super integral to the plot, but just to comment that it's not the full McAllister clan. They eliminate 2 of them for some reason, but you still got Buzz, who's an older brother, but different. He's not like this weird looking bully kid. He's just kind of like a sort of still a dick to Kevin, but he's not like the original Buzz. The original Buzz has Buzz qualities.
And
Buzz is a piece of shit.
Are
dude.
all these movies that we're talking about now, like, are there Christmas? There's a Christmas theme to them, right? Like, there's Christmas trees, there's
Yes.
snow,
Yeah.
there's
All of them
lights,
take
like,
place during Christmas time. So Kevin goes basically to the dad's girlfriend's house because he gets like in an argument with like his siblings, and she wants them over for Christmas because they're gonna have a Christmas party because there's gonna be some like rich people flying in, like the royal family is what they always refer to them as, flying in to visit her because she's that rich in Chicago. Like they're still in Chicago here.
I thought she, I
okay.
thought they were. I thought she was the royalty. So they were just visiting her.
They were just visiting her. She was
All right.
somehow associated with them.
So
I don't
yeah,
remember how.
so they do. It's the same thing where Kevin gets in a fight with his mom now, and he's like, "Fuck you, mom." And she's like, you need to enjoy Christmas." And then he runs away to his dad's house, and then his dad calls the Catherine O'Hara lookalike and was like, "Hey, thanks for coming over." So she knew, yeah, it was. And then she just accepted it. She was just like, "Oh, it's okay." And then she let him go over, even though it wasn't her plan. But are they home alone? Oh, and it's a smart house. I think that's important to know.
Oh, so
That's
the stuff
that's
he
another
does in
good
this
point.
one, the stuff he does in this one is like has to do with, like, the house helping him, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk about some of that.
Kind
That's
of.
kind of
Well, it's
interesting.
also like the house kind of also works against them
Like,
because
does the
the bad
refrigerator
guys.
like throw ice cubes and make people slip and shit? That would be cool.
I don't even remember how well it really.
How did the
helps.
house help? I know. Yeah. All I can think about is when he tried to get the house to do something and it didn't work.
Yeah, because it didn't really work well because also the bad guys had access to it because they had an inside man.
Who was the
Who he
inside
always
man?
he always suspected was the butler, but it ends up being the
Oh, yeah,
the nice maid lady.
The butler is Eric Avari. He's like the guy from the Mummy who's like protecting the map in the
right.
beginning, the librarian.
Fuck, I can't put a face to him. The Mummy's a fucking good movie. We should do The Mummy.
Like the OG Mummy. I mean, like the OG.
Oh,
Mummy,
the Brendan Fraser Mummy.
Yeah,
That's a
we
good
should
one.
do all 3 of those.
We haven't done Steven
Uh,
Summers.
All 2 of them. 2 of them are good,
Yeah, not the one with The Rock. Fuck that one.
dude. It's
Scorpion King.
notoriously bad,
Yeah, like the fucking CGI looks like you're playing like a game from 1989.
and it's hilarious. Anyway, now I'm looking at
All
the
right.
Mummy.
No, that's 4. So what happens in 4? French Stewart. What happens to French Stewart in the end?
He gets. I mean, he
Gets
gets
killed.
arrested. He's got a girlfriend and
Gets hit
this
by
one
a
her
truck.
wife at least.
And
He's
no
like,
Marv. Marv's totally out of the picture.
No,
well,
he
he's
is
Marv. Harry's
Oh,
gone. Harry's gone, and I think is Harry
Oh,
still
yeah,
in
Harry's
prison?
Joe Pesci.
I think Harry's
Joe
still
Pesci.
in prison. I think Marv escaped, and then he was all like trying to be the boss, so he's kind of being like trying to sometimes act like Harry, but basically
His-
just belittling his wife the whole time, which is
who's played by Missy Pyle.
yeah. So
I don't know
she's
who that
funny, and she's kind of funny. She's
Missy
like
Pyle. She's
always
in like
comedic
Galaxy
roles.
Quest and The Artist and Dodgeball.
Yeah, you would. Oh yeah, Dodge. She's like the weird looking chick in Dodgeball that's on the bad guy team.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Whatever.
one who's like super hot at the same time as being not hot.
Oh,
Yeah. She's got the weird unibrow situation.
Yeah. She was hot
That's
as hell.
too blown out.
Yeah, it's not exposed for it.
But you know who we're talking
I
about.
know what you're talking
But
about.
yeah, so she's kind of memorable. She was
Uh-huh.
she was one of the bad guys in it.
Uh-huh.
She was French Stewart's wife.
She's
She,
great.
and
I love
she
her.
was dumber. So Marv was the Joe Pesci character, and she was the Marv character because she was dumber than him. But that's how they. Cause it was like the what do they call the blind leading?
Yeah,
blind.
blind leading the dumb.
Whatever.
Blind leading the blind.
Dumb
Blind leading the
leading
dumb.
dumb leading the dumb on this
She
one.
was always, she always had the like mentality of like, well, okay, you're the boss, Marv.
Yeah.
Whatever you say, like
That
kind
was
of shit. And then like, and he was fumbling his way through it all because they were both super stupid. And turns out his mom was the maid. Marv's mom was the maid who worked for the super rich lady. So
She was the
that's
insider?
how she was the insider. When she was super sweet to Kevin and her actually was like bonding because Kevin and the mother or the mother-in-law or whatever
had a thing
clearly
going?
didn't. No, they clearly didn't get along
Oh.
because she was a
Yeah, it was
rich
like a
bitch
Harold and Maude
Kevin's
thing.
a nice kid. There was even a scene
Except he was 9 years old.
where I think this will lead to the ending that we give a shit about the ending. That the dad was watching It's a Wonderful Life in the kitchen
Ugh.
because that's like a
That
family tradition with
sucks.
the McAllisters. And she's like, "Oh, why are you watching this movie?" So she was very much like you, like,
Oh, that was the thing because
I hate
like
Christmas.
his wife
And
was all sad, like, oh, come over, and then they get married again, right?
yeah, exactly.
The movie makes them get married. I don't believe that. Movie would
Yeah.
make them hate each other because they just have to talk the whole time.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, for some reason, because the dad realizes that the new girlfriend is kind of
She was more
total
of an
bitch.
elf girl. She wanted to watch Elf.
Yeah.
He wanted to watch
She
Wonderful
she
Life.
was she was a humbugger.
Wasn't
She was
about to do
basically
it.
she basically
Elf's
should have
great,
been the inside
but it's like
person.
modern, you know.
Yeah.
Young people ain't watching.
Elf's like the
Wonderful
Mariah
Life. That's like what
Carey.
your grandma's friend Eleanor watches.
Exactly. Eleanor's listening to fucking Elvis White Christmas, and I'm
Do
listening to
you
Mariah
see
Carey's.
what I see?
I'm listening to Mariah Carey. All I want for Christmas is
Yeah,
you.
I bet you are.
That's
Actually, I
all I'm
like
listening.
that song. Hark Heard the Bells. Good song.
Yeah, it's sick.
It's in these movies
Yo,
very often.
totally off topic, completely off topic, but
Go on.
something I really wanted to talk about was
we've been waiting for a diversion.
I'm sorry, something I really want to talk about was did you guys know that originally the third Star Wars movie in the new trilogy was called Duel of the Fates, and it was supposedly this whole big fucking like thing where like everyone was gonna die? I was like, what the fuck? That would have been amazing. Like, come
Of
on.
which
That
one?
would've been a great
Oh,
way
Which one do you say?
So,
Instead
Rise
of Jedi?
Skywalker. No, Rise of Skywalker, the very last one, episode 9. That was originally going to be directed by Colin Trevorrow, the guy who did Safety Not Guaranteed in the first reboot of the Jurassic Park
He's done
movies.
all the Jurassic Park movies, hasn't he? The new one, Jurassic.
all but one of them, not the
Okay.
middle one, because he was supposed to direct the third Star Wars movie, and then Kathleen Kennedy fired him like 2 months before they were going to go into production, and had
Jurassic
J.J. Abrams
World.
come in and like try to save it.
To,
And
to be fair,
did
his
save it.
movies weren't very good either.
Yes, but it was called Duel of the Fates. That's just cool. And
Yeah, I mean,
if
that's,
everybody
I
would have
liked
died
everyone
at the end,
dying. That
it
sounds
would have
great.
been amazing if that, because that would have been just solidifying the end of that. Like, what the fuck is wrong with her, man? I hate her. She's the worst.
Like, we got to keep it open for more sequels.
All right. Anyway, back to the movies. Are we on 3 now?
So it would have been named after the title of the
Yes,
what's his
Duel of the
name
Fates.
song.
Exactly.
And what's his name is the composer of Home Alone and Home Alone
John
2.
Williams.
Of
That's how
course he
that
is.
was the tie-in. Good job, Schwartz. You tied it all together.
John Williams.
Like a bow. You know, I went to
Yeah,
school with
John
John Williams. Shout out to Jonathan Williams.
I think we all did.
No, you didn't.
I know it. Probably know a John. I know an Andy Williams.
Probably. Yeah, that's not a John
Probably.
Williams.
His brother's name is John. Maybe
His dad's name is Todd.
You're fucking lying.
His dad's name. His
I
dad's
know a
name is
Jonathan
Billy.
Williams. I know a Jonathan Williams. I know a Matthew Perry. Both were in band. Shout out to my bando friends.
Nice.
Sick.
Trying to think of any other famous names that weren't actual famous people. Oh, also went to high school with the kid from Glee, Chris.
The
something.
one that died.
Shit, I hope not. Who died from
I
Glee?
know one of them. One of them died. I don't know which one. I don't remember his
Jesus.
name.
I hope it wasn't. Well, anybody. I don't want to hope it wasn't someone because that kind of hopes it's somebody else, right?
I went to high school with the guy that does I Think You Should Leave, Tim Robinson.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's funny. He was like a few years older than I know, but his show's great.
Schwartz, who'd you go to high school with? Any famous fucks?
Paul
Geraldo Rivera.
Were you 80?
No, he was just a teacher there. He taught media production.
Not the Geraldo Rivera, but
No,
A
Mr.
Geraldo
Geraldo Rivera. Yeah.
a Geraldo Rivera.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Good guy. Great kisser.
All
Oh,
right.
who's your teacher?
Yeah.
Wow, he just got
Listen to
canceled.
Mariah Carey.
Home Alone 3.
Home Alone 3. The Electric Boogaloo.
What'd you think about Home Alone 3, Schwartz?
Well, it
Just
was
you saw this
terrible
one.
compared to Home Alone 1 and 2, but I mean, they kind of just did the same thing with a new character that was less entertaining, basically. I mean, shout out to young ScarJo. Didn't know she was in this.
Yep, the sister.
Why
This was the only
shit?
one who that wasn't Christmas based.
I was about to say that too, and I hated that about it.
I
What
know.
the fuck was up with that?
But it was winter.
And John Hughes wrote this one. John
was
John
winter.
Hughes is credited as the writer on this. So
Yeah.
It was
not
winter.
Christopher- If Christopher Columbus directed it, I bet it would have been fucking Christmas movie.
There was snow on the
he
ground.
was sailing the ocean blue.
There was toys. He was playing with toys. This is a Christmas movie.
He was home from school. There was still school going on. He was home.
It's
from
like
school with the
right
chickenpox.
before
So this-
Christmas.
No, this was like a fucking late January movie.
Oh shit! Everybody hates late January.
Yeah, dude. Late January is the worst fucking time of year.
It's still
Everyone wants
cold as
Christmas to-
fuck.
Everyone wants winter to be over by now. It's still cold as fuck. It's because you still got February in front of you, bro. In Chicago, it's the worst time of year.
You
it's meant to
don't
be
know
miserable.
Chicago.
I grew up like 4 hours from Chicago.
That doesn't mean you know Chicago.
I've lived in
I grew
Chicago.
up 4 hours from
for
fucking San
6
Francisco.
months.
That doesn't mean I know San Francisco.
I live with a person who lived in Chicago.
I was just in Chicago. What are we talking about?
What'd you do Home Alone stuff? Did you do Home Alone
Was it
stuff?
fucking cold?
It
Did
was
you go to the Home
freezing.
Alone house?
I didn't go to the Home Alone house, but I walked around like the Christmas market and drank hot cocoa. That was pretty cool. Went to the Bean. Went to a Riverside dinner. It was nice. Chicago's
Of
cool.
course, you went to the Bean. Everyone goes to the fucking.
Do you know?
Bean.
Do you know
You
what I
should have gone to
realized?
the Home Alone
Bean's
house and
cool.
taken a picture
You
of
know
yourself.
what I realized about Chicago and New York and Philly and all these places? Like LA is a cool place, but LA is not a true city. LA is like this other thing. It's got so much more aspects to it than just a city. And the part of LA that is a city, which is downtown, sucks.
Yeah.
But like I do miss like city things. Like it was nice being there. I was like, damn, like kind of miss this.
Yo, shout out to Georgie who went to school with a Juan Williams.
Juan Williams,
Juan Williams.
Wendy Williams' brother.
that counts.
Everyone knows, man.
That counts.
You think should The Rock be in a Home Alone movie? Wouldn't that be a great addition?
Rock?
Yeah, the
Fuck
Rock.
yeah.
to,
Who
like
would-
Home Alone 7. Just what
Who would he
Georgie
be?
suggested to
Would
me.
he just be Peter McAllister,
Shout
or
out
would
to
he be
Georgie.
Buzz, or would he be like or would he?
No,
be
it'd be
like
funny if he was Kevin grown
Oh,
up.
no,
at his age now. Like if The Rock was Kevin at his real age.
No, do the same shit they did with 4, reboot it with Kevin again, still have fucking 8 years old or whatever, and then he's the new Harry. Harry just got out of jail, but he fucking started working out. So he's
No,
all
I think
jacked.
I think it'd be funnier if he was Kevin and he's so jacked, but he still uses the weird things to do with the toys to fight people back and shit. That'd be hilarious. That would be worth watching. I would watch that.
or Vin Diesel?
So The Rock as a little kid?
No, The Rock is a grown man, but for some reason he still does the same things he did.
Well, he has all his toys still.
Yeah. And,
He has all
and
his
they
toys.
get
Or he
and
has
they
a-
really get
No,
Joe
no.
Pesci.
So
they
The
get
Rock-
Joe Pesci back.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Joe
he's
Pesci's
Kevin, but
alive.
he's like
So The
40-year-old Kevin.
It's 40-year-old Kevin. The Rock has a 9-year-old kid, but maybe the
Oh,
kid just
okay.
died, so he still has all his toys.
Yeah.
And The Rock got left home alone for some reason. Like the family left The Rock home alone.
Maybe,
Like,
maybe the
where's-
maybe
Where's Dwayne? Do we leave him in? Do we leave Dwayne's in the other van? Okay, we counted heads. Great, yeah.
the Rock's whole family dies, so he is home alone.
Oh, but he's Kevin still. Right.
and
and
Joe
he's Kevin.
Pesci and the
Still-
other guy are back. We
And
gotta
maybe
make
he's
that a
like
thing.
recovering from a heavy lift, so he can't fight him. So he's got to use other methods.
Joe Pesci. If he falls right now, and the way Joe Pesci fell in
Yeah, Joe
1990,
Pesci's like
he
86
would
years old.
shatter. Did you did you see Joe Pesci in
Jake,
the Irishman?
Stunt
He was gonna
doubles.
die the whole time.
Look at him right there.
You're right.
Look at him. He
You're
looks
right. You're
good.
right. He's just in it, but then there's just falls, and then like they just cut back to him on the ground, like,
Yeah,
holy fuck, that hurt.
dude, I could be Joe Pesci stunt double.
You do. You do look a lot like Joe Pesci currently.
Well, what they need to do is cast more wrestlers as the stunt double. So they introduce like a whole wrestling element to it. So randomly, like Kevin will like rock bottom someone off like the banister of like of his house, because it'll be like the same house, right? Has to be the same house. Like he
It's the
inherited.
same
he grew
house,
up into
but
the
it's
house.
it's
Yeah.
super dilapidated. Maybe he moves back. This is like Detroit, now. But his house. So his house is like a
Okay, so it's
trap
like the
house.
south. It's like the south side of Chicago, like it used to have
Sure.
money, but now it's like a shit. It's like a shithole.
It's a trap
Okay, I
house
like
now.
it.
There's squatters in it. He's got to go kick people out. This is like Hereditary. So he's got to go kick people out of his fucking. Not Hereditary.
Complicated.
I didn't mean Hereditary. I meant what's the new movie with that we all like that we did on the podcast? Anyway,
Barbarian.
yeah, dude, that was a good movie.
Imagine it's the this is the story. Kevin finds a door and the Rock is in the door.
I thought Kevin was the Rock.
No, not anymore.
Oh, okay.
Now the Rock is the monster, like in Barbarian.
So he's just
But
like
he's the
just
monster.
He's
been-
like the
just
titty
been-
monster.
King.
Does he have
But he's
titties?
been-
He's the Scorpion King guy.
Does the scorpion
He's a
have
Scorpion
titties?
King living in the basement.
All right,
Like
let's
he's
get-
the one.
Let's get back to the fucking movie, please.
The Rock plays the furnace in the basement.
Kevin.
Smell what the furnace is cooking.
Yeah, you probably put it out. Are we on 3 still?
Well, we didn't even talk about
matter
3.
What your family is.
What I mean, three's kind of the same thing, just not as good. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing of the microchip being in the toy, and then her
Yeah,
giving the
these-
toy to Kevin. Like it is way too convenient.
It's
Way
gone.
too
It's
convenient.
it's elevated so much to like international fucking spies and
It's pretty
Yeah.
bad.
international like.
It's pretty bad.
And there's now all these guys have guns. There's 4 bad guys instead of just the 2. So little Alex has a lot cut out for him.
Yeah, little Alex, liar guy.
And
So
and his
it
mom just went to
was-
work. They're not even. No one's
Liar.
like even
Didn't
out
get
of
to Liar,
town.
Liar?
He's just like, nah,
Yeah.
go to work, mom. I got this. I'm
Liar, Liar's
fine.
a good
Like
movie.
he
Liar,
like
Liar
puts
is
himself at
amazing.
home.
Liar Liar could be a Christmas movie if it was around Christmas. All they need to do is make
Yeah.
it. They just need to make it winter instead of his birthday. It's Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And boom, boom.
There's a lot of Christmas movies that. Or a lot
Well,
of
you
movies that
don't
could be-
make Christmas wishes, I guess. That's the whole thing. Is he makes a birthday wish?
Mm-hmm.
I thought of something funny that throws back to a previous episode where we talked about
You ain't
Steve-O
funny.
being an assassin being driven around by Argyle.
Shout out to Steve-O.
Make that a Christmas movie with
Talking about
Argyle.
Steve O'Rourke or Steve-O from Jackass?
Steve
O'Rourke.
O'Rourke.
Okay, cool. I don't
He's
remember
the
that,
hit.
but that's great.
He's the
the
hitman
only
that's like
Steve-O I
Tom
care
Cruise in
about.
Collateral, and Argyle is essentially the Jamie Foxx, where Argyle is driving around Steve-O,
Yeah.
and Steve-O has to kill people on
Steve-O-
Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Steve-O saying things
yeah.
from Collateral would
Yeah.
be hilarious. He
And
would say that.
Argyle has to teach him the meaning of Christmas.
Yeah,
That's
that'd
why I
be
thought
good.
he was when exactly when he was like, you come to LA a lot. He's like, I gotta tell you one thing. Every time I come to LA, I can't wait to leave. I was like, that is exactly what Steve-O would say. I think he has said that. He's like the scum of the earth. You can smell it,
Yeah, that's totally something you would say. That's amazing. I
This
mean,
movie-
there's really no highlights from 3. So if anybody's got anything else, which is
Scarlett Johansson's first role, and John
That's her first role?
Hughes's
I don't
last.
think that's her first role.
Scarlett Johansson's first major role. It says on IMDb. Name 4 other
Alright.
movies she was in before
And,
this one. She's like 6 years old. now.
The horse.
I
was
just
she
thought
in The
she's
Horse
like- she was a
Whisperer? Is
child
that
actress.
Before or after?
Did she whisper the horses?
Horse Whisperer? Robert Redford vehicle.
What was she?
Either
was
way,
it a
doesn't matter.
major
You just
role?
make that up.
Kind
I
of.
didn't make shit up.
No.
No, Schwartz has made up fucking Robert Redford movies.
No, it's not made up. It's Scott Thomas and Robert Redford and Scarlett Jo. She's young good.
ScarJo's born 6 days before me. 6 days and 4 years, but
I thought she was older.
she
Yeah, I
old
thought
as
she's older
fuck.
than us.
She's
Yeah.
4 years older than me, so she's like she's a little younger than Jake.
One year older, I believe. What is she? 84? Is she 84?
She's 84.
All right, I'm 85. Asshole.
Yeah, she looked good for her age.
By 85, I mean I was born in 1923.
She's like 39 years old.
I know she looked really good.
Yeah, she would have been 30.
Hey,
She
do
would
you
have just turned
disagree?
38.
You don't think she looks good?
I mean, she looks great, but it's not because of her age. Because she's
Are you
hot.
talking the 14-year-old
telling you, it's
version
not
in
'cause of
Home
her-
Alone 3
No, I'm talking
or
about
Scarlett
now.
Jones now?
14
talking
in
about
Home Alone
now.
3? I can't call her hot if she's 14 in Home Alone 3.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait, we're
don't
talking
do
about
that.
Home Alone 3? I thought we're talking about now.
Yeah, now ScarJo is hot. I mean, she became hot. What in? I don't even know if she was that hot in Lost in
She
Translation.
became hot when she was she became
What?
18. That's
She's
when she became
beautiful
hot.
in Lost in Translation.
She's cute.
She's beautiful.
You just have
She was,
ugly
she was
ass Bill Murray.
She was
right next
becoming
to
a
her.
young woman. I think she was like 19 in that movie. She was becoming a young woman.
She was
I'll
a
give
young
her-
woman, you moron.
She was.
I'll give
Yep.
her a young woman.
Anyway,
Shout out to
Home
ScarJo.
Alone
Anyway.
2.
That's 3. Oh,
best
well,
one
I
in
was
the
going to say
franchise.
Home Alone was the last one that John Hughes had anything to do with, but he originally wrote it for Macaulay Culkin and it had a different plot. And once Macaulay Culkin said he wasn't going to do it, he kind of was just like, all right, well, let's make it about international thieves and fuck Christmas.
Sick.
I also read they kicked around a version of it once once Macaulay turned it down. They were gonna have his brother Kieran Culkin, who plays Fuller. It was
In
gonna be one
Succession?
with him. Yeah, but I don't know what happened to that one. They decided not to do that, and they just decided to just start a fresh
Didn't
one.
we write a
But
Fuller
they
sequel?
almost did a Home Alone with Kieran Culkin. I think he wrote it, yeah, but then they didn't do anything with it.
No, didn't
Like
we
that-
write?
there was
I
gonna-
have written down on my notes talk about the Fuller sequel.
Really? I
Yeah.
mean, I don't remember us writing a Fuller sequel, but it's a great idea.
Yeah,
Kieran
wasn't it?
Culkin now or Fuller back then? Because Fuller was a little weird kid.
He's
But
the guy who peed.
Yeah,
Kieran just stayed
Culkin
weird.
now. Oh man, I wish I could remember. It's written in big letters.
I think
Fuller
we
sequel.
made a joke about that actually, about how like he could be in a sequel.
What would he be doing?
I mean, is he the same kid, like basically now in Succession? Because he's just this rich, super rich kid. Like the McAllisters had some money. Clearly.
they
Oh my
were-
God,
yeah,
the
they were
fucking
balling,
the
dude.
fucking hotel room they're in the second movie at the end in New York. That's like a $50,000 a night room.
Oh yeah, he was throwing around so much money in New York,
He
and his
they-
dad was like, "I cancel the credit." He didn't even
It was
think to
nine.
cancel the
It was
credit
only
card. They're-
$9,000.
They're just like, "Fuck it, whatever."
He spent $9,000 in like 3 days. I guess that is
A
lot.
night, no.
No.
or just, or I mean,
You remember when he
3,000 a
at the
night,
end of the thing
whatever.
he goes,
He gets the
"Dad!"
bill.
Yeah, well, that was only room service.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9,000 a room service is a fucking lot of money.
That's
How
a
long was
lot.
he even there?
No, it
I
was
think, like,
900 on
three.
room service.
Are you sure?
That's
It wasn't
still a
9,000?
lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
That's
Especially
more-
for
I spent
$1994.
$1,000
Yeah.
on
And a
room
child.
service.
Yeah, I can see that
I lived
being
with
racked up
Box
over
for
the
a
course of
while.
a few days. Yeah,
Dude, you live in luxury when you live with Box. Shout out to Box.
nice.
Merry Christmas, Box.
And a happy new year. I was smooching with your
You
sister.
filthy animal.
Little Mo with the gimpy leg. All right.
I saw him smooching with my brother.
We're
Now
at
do we go
two.
to now do we go to one and talk about one first, or we go to two? Because
I
now
mean-
we're talking about the Goodwoods. What are we doing?
We could talk with whatever. Here's why I think
You could almost
two's
line
better.
these two movies up.
I
You could
always
line
said
those
two
two
is
movies up
better.
and have the same plot points with the little random extra scenes in two. I don't see how two's better at all.
little
Two's just-
random
Tool
extra
just ups the
scenes. What do you
ante.
what do you what's your little random extra scenes that you don't like?
Like
in
they
two?
just add goofy characters like the hotel shit.
you
Tim
don't
Curry.
like Tim Curry?
Tim Curry and
Like,
Rob Schneider both
that-
are amazing in this movie.
Like that was essentially what the Pizza Man was, but then they just added a
What?
bunch of goofy bigger names like Rob Schneider and Tim Curry. I don't hate it, but I'm just
Goofy.
saying like the original they already did
The
it. They
shit
already-
you're
it was already
saying.
done.
It fumes with hatred.
And how are you going to act like, how are you going to trick a hotel staff into thinking you're shooting them up inside of a hotel room without them calling authorities?
It's a fucking kids movie, Jake. It's a movie
All I
that's
know
watched by
is
children.
I'm saying none of these movies make any fucking sense.
He said
supposed
he
to?
said we're calling
Yeah.
the authorities.
It's a movie. They're supposed to make sense.
He
That's
said
not
when he
true
was
at all.
army crawling, he was like, "Everybody stay in a room. There's a crazy man with a gun. Call the authorities."
Did they? I didn't see any
Pretty
cop
sure he
show
said
up.
those exact words.
No cop show. He said it.
No
but
cops
they
showed
didn't
up.
Do
You
it.
need to see everything, Jake. You can't just use a little imagination We can't see the cops coming. The cops came. They came and they went, and then they came back to Central Park.
All right, fine.
Imagination.
Imagination.
I'll imagine cops came, and then they did start looking for that.
Bro,
Kevin that's kind of when Kevin ran away.
You saying this is like saying
Kevin
that The
ran
Rock
away.
was a fucking unrealistic movie. Like,
And that's
it's
how the
made for
cops-
pure entertainment.
The cops.
The Rock isn't
the
a
Rock.
realistic movie.
The Rock's fully
God.
realistic. What are you talking about?
I'm only borrowing your Humvee.
That shit could happen.
That's such a good movie. Michael Bay's best movie by far.
MBSBAM. I don't know.
Yes.
I disagree with you, Jake. I think let's say that they didn't make Home Alone 1 and they only made Home Alone 2. That's a better movie than Home Alone. I would be happier with that movie than Home Alone 1.
All right.
All I'm saying is follow the blueprint. It followed the same.
Yeah,
Who
because
cares?
it's a
Same
fucking
beats.
kids movie. They got to up the ante
You're
a
right.
little bit. And they
If
take
it
to
ain't
a
broken,
big
don't
city.
fix it.
Exactly.
It's
That's
you're-
why
you're
typical
saying-
sequel repeat.
You're saying it's like
and add.
unnecessary. Why is it unnecessary? It's like they made a bunch of money.
Look at your
people loved
iPhone.
it,
Now you
so
put
they
words
upped
in
the
my
fucking
mouth.
ante.
Look at
Put
your
words in my mouth,
iPhone.
dog.
Your iPhone has looked the same since 2006. If it
I've
ain't
had this
broken,
phone since
don't
it's fun.
fix it.
That's why I still have a 10 like a poor person.
I have an 11.
And it looks the same. They all look the same. They have they found a design that worked. Everyone likes it. Let's keep doing it until people get sick of it. And you know what? People got sick of it after 2. Well, I bet if whatever
Had to change up the
Hughes's
kid.
was and Culkin came back, I bet 3 would have been rad.
Of course, especially if Chris Columbus did it.
Yeah, it was a simple raising the stakes. It's very typical of sequels to do this. It's just raise the stakes instead of him getting lost or leaving home alone. He's now lost in New York. Wow.
It's great.
Dude,
They
Trump
did
is
it.
in this movie. You should love this movie.
The
You're a big
president
Trump guy.
himself
I
is
don't
in this
like
movie.
Trump.
You love Trump.
I think they edited him out. I didn't notice him on the Disney. I watched it again. I didn't
He's
notice
on
it.
there.
I
I
didn't
watched
see
it. He's in there.
The Disney Plus one.
Don't
he's
be
still in there?
silly.
Okay, I like
He's
half
still-
watched them
He's
all.
there. He's still in
I
person.
thought they edited him out.
They wouldn't
They should
edit
edit
him
him
out.
out.
That's silly.
A lot of places did edit him out in certain rebroadcasts, I guess, because for one, he's not integral to the plot.
You saw that?
He's just a
You
quick.
saw that, or you just
I did
heard
read that.
You read that.
I read that.
Mm,
They actually edited him out in
But you didn't see
Canada
it
in the
yourself
Canadian
with your eyes.
broadcasts. I did not.
That's
I did not see an
Canada,
edited
dude.
out version. I just didn't notice him in this one because I half watched these movies. Because especially this
Well,
one.
these are fucking classics from our childhood. So honestly,
Yeah.
we didn't need to watch these movies, but I enjoyed rewatching these movies because they're amazing. And the fact that Joe Pesci made this, Goodfellas, and My Cousin Vinny back to back to back might be the best 1, 2, 3 punch in history of cinema.
Oh yeah, this in
Like, come
Goodfellas,
on.
Home Alone, and
amazing.
Goodfellas were in theaters at the same time.
That's insane. That's
Yeah.
so
ridiculous.
awesome. You know what I love? I read that the reason why his character was like is because he was like cursing a lot, and Chris Columbus was like, "Dude, you cannot curse. This is not that." So he just started doing that, and he was like, "That's."
Yeah, he was just used to adding like
Yeah.
fuck every few words because
Yeah.
that's just usually how his characters were.
Exactly.
But yeah, he's just frickin'.
Yeah, that's what that is.
This is
Which
Joe
amazing.
Pesci's second best role ever.
I mean, I kind of think My Cousin Vinny's his second best role, and then this. But they're interchangeable. They really are interchangeable. He's great in these movies.
Vinny,
Especially
my cousin
because-
Vinny, you see you see a lot more of his chops, I guess, than this one. This
Yeah,
one he's very
yeah.
one note, but
Well, in My Cousin
He's-
Vinny, he's also playing a good guy.
and
Like
the
in My
main
Cousin Vinny, he's
character.
playing a good guy. Yeah. In this, he's playing like a PG version of his guy in Goodfellas.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
so
Like,
good.
Yeah.
Like have the Sticky Bandits killed people? You think the Sticky Bandits have murdered? You think they killed people?
Oh, that's interesting. Well, no, I mean they're bandits. They're not murderers.
They're not
but
the
that-
sticky murderers.
I'll tell you who has killed somebody. Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci's definitely murdered somebody.
in real life, you mean?
Oh, 100%. He has killed at least 4 people.
I mean,
with
I
his-
wouldn't doubt it.
1 or 2 with his bare hands, just when he was
I
young.
wouldn't doubt it. I
Well,
wouldn't
maybe
doubt it.
maybe a couple accidentals, and then 1 or 2 just like I really meant to do that.
And what's so great about it is that, like, even in the opening scene of the first one, when Joe Pesci's pretending to be the cop and he's in the house, like, knowing who Joe Pesci has played, you're just like, oh, that's kind of creepy. You know what I mean? Like Joe Pesci kind of looks harmless because he's this little bald Italian fella that looks like he might give you like a loaf of
shoe
bread every
shine?
time you pass him. But like he's terrifying. Like Casino, like as much as I love Goodfellas, as much as Goodfellas is an amazing movie, I think his best performance is Casino because it's like if his Goodfellas character like grew up and became the boss. Because in Goodfellas, he was supposed to be young, like he's supposed to be like 24 or 25 years old, and then Casino, he's playing like a 45-year-old dude.
He look he's looked 50 in every movie I've ever seen him in.
Right.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, Goodfellas, he looks pretty young in. I mean, I guess he looks real young in Raging Bull, but that's when he was young. Like they were like honestly like 30 years old in that movie.
For sure.
Nah.
He was good in that too.
Great in that fucking movie. He's one of the greatest actors. Like he hasn't made many movies, but for what he's made and the quality of what he's made, he's one of the best.
Academy Award winning.
Even The Irishman, I remember his performance really standing out to me in The Irishman.
He was the best part of The Irishman by far. Yeah. And
Like,
he's
he was
so good in
limited, but it
Lethal
was
Weapon
good.
movies. The Lethal Weapon movies, he's fucking amazing in. Leo Getz.
Leo
Getz is amazing.
Whatever you need, Leo Getz. Get it?
Is he in all of them? I don't remember. Did he
He's
just
in
join on
2,
the
3,
third
and
one?
4.
Yeah.
2,
Did
3,
he
and
join in
4.
the second one? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Throw him in the
sequel.
second one. Hey,
What
you
year
you own your own home?
What year did that come out? Lethal
That
Weapon
was
2?
close to this.
I was
Probably
gonna say,
right after this, honestly.
Probably got that
Yeah, I
work
think it
from
was, like,
because
right after
of that
this.
work. His
This
great
dude.
1990.
This dude's done a lot of good stuff.
He's done so much good stuff. I mean, I know it's not one of the good ones, but like Gone Fishing with him and Danny Glover is an entertaining movie. It's entertaining as hell.
I don't remember.
not
I
good
barely remember
movies,
that, but I remember enjoying that as a child. I don't really remember that at all. But other than that, I remember like
We're looking at Goodfellas 1990, Home Alone 1990. Let's see, My Cousin Vinny 92, Lethal Weapon 3 92. Oh, where's Lethal
Oh
Weapon
my
2? So
God.
Lethal Weapon 2 was before all this.
Was he not in 2? Maybe it was 3 that he came in.
I
I
think
feel like he was only
in.
in. I
No.
feel like he came in the third. I could be wrong because I'm not
Yeah.
like super into those movies, but I've seen them all like
No, I
once.
think
Okay,
you're
so
right.
after-
Because the third one, they have to is the one where they have to like protect him. They bring him in and protect him.
Okay. So
Right.
then he did Lethal Weapon 3, and then what?
Then 4, Chris Rock.
Oh
comes
no! Lethal Weapon 2, 1989.
Oh shit! So he did that
okay.
before
So
Goodfellas
89
and this.
Oh,
It was eight. It
wow.
was 2 Goodfellas, then Home Alone, Cousin Vinny 92, Lethal Weapon 92, Home Alone 2 92. God, good year.
Wow. Yeah.
Bronx Tale
then what?
93,
Yeah. And then what?
Casino
stopped.
95, Eight Heads in a Duffel Bag 97. Slowing
That's the
down a
great
little
that,
bit.
movie.
that was a fun one.
Yeah.
Gone
I feel like
Fishing,
I
same
need
year.
to revisit Eight Heads.
Eight Heads in a Duffel Bag is a funny ass movie.
Does that hold up?
It-
Because I remember
it-
liking it as
I
a
mean,
kid.
it's like slapstick. It's like saying if
Okay.
old school holds up. You know what I mean? It's like
Isn't there
for
a
the
part?
time.
Isn't there a part where like all the heads are like singing or some shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I gotta
so.
watch. I gotta watch
He's
that
like
again.
having a dream.
He's like a hitman. He's like
Yeah,
he
yeah.
kills all those people. Okay.
He's trying to. Well, he's transporting the heads. I think somewhere. Yeah.
They're proof of his gang's latest hit.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. I gotta watch that again.
And then what'd he do? Then he kind of slowed down. Gone Fishing. and then
Gone
what'd he do?
Fishing 97, Lethal Weapon 94,
That was a great one.
Good Shepherd 96.
Another De Niro movie.
That was 96.
I'm sorry, 2006. 2006.
Okay, that makes
Yeah, he
sense.
took a break from movies for a
Yeah.
while.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Came back 2006. Did a movie called Love Ranch in 2010.
Yep.
He
Love
did,
it.
and
then-
then he did The Irishman in 2019.
Yeah.
There's a
Got
couple,
nominated
like,
for an Oscar for it.
couple
He
weird
did,
things
right,
in
yeah.
between.
Yeah. No, he was pretty much done, man. He was doing his thing, living life.
I liked The Irishman. I feel like a lot of people shit on that movie because of its length, but I still great. Great
I mean,
actors.
it's
Come on.
Scorsese. Of course, it's gonna be
Scorsese,
good.
it's gonna be
Dude
good.
makes quality shit. Never hasn't.
All right, Home Alone 2.
All right,
It's,
Home Alone 2,
30th
Lost in New York.
anniversary this year.
Yeah. That's
Oof,
true.
that's the
True.
best scene playing behind you right now. Taps his head.
He has permanent burns from that.
Really?
Joe Pesci has permanent burns or suffered severe burns on his head when they lit it on fire. Did a lot of his
damn.
own stunts. Dude, the best part of this scene, I'm just gonna try to rewind it, is the fact that he, or maybe I'm thinking of that might be 2. He lifts himself up in a full, that's in this one, right? In a full headstand. Oh no. In 2.
He goes in the water.
His head lights on fire. There's a toilet full of water. He lifts himself up in a full handstand, which no way Joe Pesci can do on his own without wire work, and slowly, very controlled, lowers his head like a fucking Cirque du Soleil performer into the toilet full of kerosene, and it explodes. But I just thought that was very funny. There's no way he has the upper body strength to do said things.
No, he started doing yoga.
It was
after
Kevin
that.
Hart. Kevin Hart was Joe Pesci's stunt double.
It was.
No, it was Peter Doyle, not Peter Doyle.
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage.
Or the dude who played Willow. Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis. I do love me.
I mean,
Warwick.
I know that Kevin, he had a little person as his stunt double.
That's smart.
So
you know the little
We're
person,
good.
like you know him personally.
I don't remember his name, but I know that a little person was Kevin's stunt double. I saw
Kevin
it on the
Hart or Kevin McAllister.
No, for Kevin McAllister, Macaulay Culkin stunt double.
I thought you were talking about Kevin Hart. I mean, it could still work.
I don't know.
He's pretty
you know
sure,
how-
dude.
You know how they make those things like realistic versions of funny movies or movies that don't happen? Like they made a realistic version of this. It's just like Joe Pesci walks and shoots Kevin in the face and the movie's over.
Right.
He shoots
I had
him,
no
he shoots him
guns.
with a BB gun.
No guns in this
They
one.
just kick the door open and blast him, steal his whatever they want to steal. They're just stealing Christmas presents, right?
Yeah, I think that is that their goal. Just steal Christmas. I mean, I guess they're gonna rob to try to get jewelry and shit. But
Well,
All right, so let's put some structure to
just-
2. Somebody put some structure to it. Just a little bit at least.
So 2, the family's going to France or Miami.
Miami's too. Yeah.
2 families flying to Miami. The same thing in the morning. They're all in Chicago in their really dope fucking house. Another sign that he's rich. Another sign that he's rich is he's paying for everybody, his whole extended family, to go on vacation everywhere they're going. France in the first movie, Miami in the second one. Instead of leaving him home alone, they don't even leave him home alone in this movie.
Yeah, he gets in the car.
No, I know, but the movie's called Home Alone. I just put that together.
I know.
In my
It's not-
dumb
it's-
ass
it's-
brain.
Well, it's called Home Alone 2: Lost in New York.
you
And that's why this movie
Hold on.
fucking sucks. This movie was
Get
just
outta
fucking
here.
wrong. Everything's wrong
Get out of
about it.
here. This movie's better. This movie's better in every way. It's funnier. The gags
better
are
in a way.
funnier. It has funnier people in it. It has our Lord and Savior Donald Trump in it.
You mean
Donald
Tim
Trump.
Curry?
They said, oh yeah, Tim Curry in it. Rob Schneider in it. Has the
It's-
old lady in
It's
it.
too long.
The
It's
lady with
overly
Too
the dog.
long.
It's a full
That's
2
what she
hours. I
said.
think 2 hours and 1 minute.
What do you want to cut out of Home Alone 2? You Nazi.
Probably some of the additional random character scenes. Like maybe I don't know if they needed the whole. I don't know.
You're about, yep,
Think
go
about
ahead.
it.
You were about to say the lady. You were about to say the lady, weren't you?
Not the lady. I was almost gonna say the toy store guy, but that's kind of what their goal is to rob the toy store.
He's there for
but-
Duncan's toy chest. Duncan's there for about 4 minutes in the movie. You want to cut that out? It was 4 minutes too long?
Yeah, it was
just
about
says
4 minutes.
hi.
It was like 50.
And he introduces the turtle doves,
The turtle doves.
which he brings
Mm.
back in the end. Come on.
It's just that's all my complaint. There's just certain characters that are just split into other characters. Like the old man Marley, basically a little bit of the old man in the toy store and a little bit of pigeon lady. It's just
No,
it just
the old man Marley
they
is
just-
just Pigeon Lady. That's Marley's replacement.
a little bit of Duncan too, I think.
Duncan, why Duncan? Because it's a man.
Because he's the old man that he kind of bonds with and like kind of also influences him
He doesn't
on
bond
the
with.
meaning
He
of
doesn't
the
bond
family
with
and shit.
Duncan. He doesn't bond with Duncan. He
Little bit.
meets Duncan. He meets Duncan in
Meets him.
passing. He doesn't even realize it's Duncan.
All right, whatever.
I got heated.
Anyway, what else did I hate about this
Anthony
movie?
loves
I hate about
this movie.
I
I
didn't
love
hate
this
anything
movie.
about it.
It's winter
I just don't think it's
in
as
New
good.
York. It's beautiful. All the good things. The Twin Towers are still there. So there was a time. He
Okay.
runs around. It just makes me wanna go to New York in the winter and ice skate and go to Rockefeller
All right.
and have fun and look through
I think
look through the telescopes at the not the Eiffel Tower, but the guy who built the Eiffel Tower.
Here's one thing that I dislike less about the first one. The main climax of the Home Alone is obviously always going to be like the part where all the booby traps are going on and whatnot, and that's taking place in the Home Alone house in the first one. That house in itself is like a main character of the film. It's a very familiar spot. Like, we know this house well. We've gotten to know this house. In the second one, we spend more time in the hotel and shit, and it's just kind of like where all the booby traps happen, or just kind of like it's his uncle's house that's being refurnished or whatever, but it just feels
like
very unfamiliar. It just feels disconnected. It's
He
just like
booby traps them all around New York,
but mostly there.
Yeah,
mostly that climax,
Mostly.
that whole main part of them going through a bunch of booby traps,
and you hate
at
that.
his uncle's house, but
I honestly think
I don't like it as much. I don't like it as much because it's just like it feels like a random place to me. It just feels like we needed a place to do this, so let's just throw this random house in. Like, we needed those scenes to make it work as this movie, because this movie, the main part is the booby trap part, I think.
Yeah, but so you think that makes it a bad movie?
No,
because they solved the problem of where to do this. That's why you don't like it.
No, I'm comparing the two. I'm not saying.
You think that the original house had more character? It was a character in the movie.
I'm honestly kind of agreeing with Jake. I'm honestly kind of agreeing with Jake on this, and that the first one is a better movie. But I do think this one is just as good, honestly. But the first one is always going to be a little better because it's the OG, and I do agree with the house thing. But this is a great movie.
It's still great. It's still classic. But I don't find myself watching the sequel every single year on Christmas. I watch the first one every single year on Christmas.
I watched the second one before I watched the first one.
Well, that's because you're a fascist.
I am not a fascist. I just like good movies. Saying this movie's better than that movie because it was first, I don't get down with that agreement. Or I don't get down with that argument.
I guess I give things originality points, and it's very rare to find a sequel better than an original. It happens, but it's rare because a lot of
top 5 sequels T2
that are better. T2, obviously. I'd have to think about that.
Tokyo Drift.
Glass Onion, maybe.
Better sequels. I mean, you guys love T2. I'd say Aliens is a pretty great sequel. I don't know if it's better.
I don't think Aliens is better.
I mean, but I don't think
T2 is
the first one either. It's just entertaining though.
You don't think T2 is better than T1? I think T2 is better.
I don't know.
I'd rather
T2
watch
is
T2
an action
better than
movie.
T1.
T2 is an action movie. T1's kind of like a horror movie, so I kind of dig that a little bit about it. Yeah. But I mean, I do get why people like T2 better because it definitely is overall more entertaining. It's like a spectacle. But T1 is kind of creepiest. It's scary. Like, it's almost like watching It Follows, where you're like, something's literally just walking towards you at all times trying to kill you. And that's what the Terminator is. This is this fucking machine from the future trying to kill. That's scary as shit. That's scarier than most horror movies.
I agree that it's like Alien and Aliens. Alien is a horror movie. Aliens is an action movie.
Right. Yes. So
and what's cool is Aliens and Terminator and T2 directed by James Cameron.
Prove it.
All right.
Just look it up.
James Cameron, the greatest pioneer.
I don't know if this one counts because it's kind of like in a franchise, but Thor Ragnarok is definitely better than the first Thor movie.
All right, we're getting out of these.
Sure.
That's one that popped up in my head.
Did you guys ever have a Talk Boy?
I did.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Come on.
Yeah, the Talk Boy is the Talk Boy is a fun addition.
What was the Talk Boy in one?
You're right.
The BB
right
gun
there. There's an original thing. The BB gun didn't have the impact of the Talk Boy. The Talk Boy was impactful.
I fucked BB gun. I fucked with BB guns after that movie. I mean, you guys are like, I'm not saying one's a bad movie. Obviously, I love one. I just think I like two better. I like two better. Is it a better movie? Who cares? I'm just saying I would rather watch two I think it's more fun. I think the stakes have risen. I love Tim Curry. It's the first time I ever saw Tim Curry. Might be the first time I ever saw Robbie Schneids.
Definitely my first time seeing him.
Nice.
I love like the Plaza Hotel, the grandness of it. Like when I was a kid, I forget what comedian has the joke of like what Donald Trump thinks is cool. It's like a kid. What a kid thinks is cool. It's like, I want a tower and make it solid gold. And when I was a kid, I thought that was really cool. It's like staying in this super elegant hotel.
Well,
eating-
yeah, that's
eating
what it is. It's
cookies
just
with the
it's
ice
just-
cream. The guy serving him ice cream. He's watching even
the first
dirtier
one
angels.
just amplified. It's the first one just amplified. It's like what
And
can you
that's
do to
why
make
I
it
like
cooler?
it. That's why I love it. That's why I like it better than the
and
first one.
I agree that it's a little bit more entertaining in the aesthetically pleasing than the first one, but I also agree with Jake in that, because I was gonna say the second one too. I honestly, if you would have asked me, I would have said second one's better just because I think I've seen it more. But now that we were talking about it, the first one is like pretty great.
I love the house though. Like the house to me is like such a
that's
cool
where the
like
difference is. Yeah.
part, and it's like the fact that it's decorated as a Christmas house, basically. I
Like
I
a
don't know.
gingerbread house.
Pretty much like the interior of the house is all green and red, carpets, drapes, everything like that. It's all. It's just fucking. It's like a Christmas house. Despite that, it's of course during Christmas
color,
time, but
the color
color
scheme in the whole movie
of
is
the whole house is
Christmas colors.
And to answer your question, Anthony, if you were gonna take something out of the movie, you take the homeless lady out. You can take that lady out completely. That's what I would take out of the movie. And I get why it's there. It's him learning to accept people for who they
she's
are.
Marley.
And
She's old man Marley in
sure,
the first
but they
movie.
could have taken that out.
Exactly.
They could have made Duncan her and then taken her out.
Added a little more Duncan, taking a little less her.
They needed a homeless person that Kevin never invited.
She's the
to
only
have,
other
a hotel room or
Oscar-winning
feed.
actor in this movie.
That's true.
She won for My Left Foot.
Oh,
She
wow.
did. She
Didn't
played his
realize
wife.
Okay,
She played his left wife.
good for her.
She played the foot.
I liked her character. I think her character was it necessary? I don't know.
Yeah, because old man
She
Marley,
saved
he
him in
like
the
helped.
end.
Her. She did save him, but
Yeah, the birds. The bird saved him. Let's be honest.
Marley and Kevin learned the importance of family from each other, and that's a big part of Home Alone.
True.
What did Bird Lady teach Kevin? And what did
Bird Lady teach
Kevin teach Bird
Same
Lady?
thing. Kevin promised Bird Lady. What Kevin taught Bird Lady, I think, was more valuable than what Bird Lady taught Kevin.
What did
think
Kevin? What was it? What's
just that she can trust people still, and she can trust people to love them still. And because she sees him, they meet, they go to fucking Carnegie Hall somehow, they get in the attic and they're watching the band perform. And she says she was loved before he stopped loving her, probably because you're fucking weird, lady. But he was like, you know what? I'll be back, or I'll never stop being your friend, or we'll be friends forever. And she was like, don't make promises you can't keep, kid. And then he was like, nah. And then at the very end, she gives him the turtle dove.
He gives her the turtle dove.
They never fucking talked again after Kevin went to Chicago. Kevin went back to Chicago. They
Probably
never
not, but he got a shirt.
They never exchanged words.
He remembered her on Christmas. She didn't expect it, but it was nice. She got a turtle dove. You give someone the turtle dove so they never forget you.
Yeah, Kevin doesn't remember this lady.
Jake, I will never give you a turtle dove.
You're never gonna forget me though.
I will forget you as soon as we end this podcast.
You're never gonna give me a turtle dove because you won't have a problem forgetting me.
All right, what about the first one? Let's talk about the first one.
First one's a good movie.
Great movie.
Yeah, they leave him home alone.
And then
that's the name of the movie.
I mean, I think the reason why we did these movies is because we all grew up on these movies, and during a time of Christmas, it's just one of the first movies you think of. You know what I mean? Like, if you think of 5 movies, this is one of the 5. And as far as a Christmas special goes, if you grew up in the 90s or 2000s, you probably saw this movie a billion times.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's the sentiment. This whole
hands
whole
down
thing
my
is
favorite
sentiment.
Christmas movie. 100%. This is what I think.
Top
when someone
5
says
for
Christmas
sure.
movie.
Top 7 maybe. the first one. Second one's definitely top 5. Second one's top 3, maybe.
What's your number one Christmas movie?
Number 1 Christmas movie.
Topo Gijo.
Yeah, Topo. It's Topo Gijo. I watched it with the
Topo?
subtitles on the other day. Topo Gijo.
Topo
Like
Chico.
Topo Chico.
What movie are you talking about?
The Santa
Santa
Claus.
Claus.
Oh, that's your favorite one?
I didn't say that.
Oh.
Jake
I
said
just remember
this was his favorite one.
that was the first movie you chose on a draft. I just
That's a
remember
great
that one.
movie. That's a great movie. Top 5. Let's see. What is my favorite Christmas movie?
Gremlins is a good one. We did that last year.
Pop a Christmas movie on. I'm not gonna lie. It might be Home Alone 2. Might be Home Alone 2. Depending on who I'm with, it could be Bad Santa, the first one.
That's a good one.
I
What
guess
about
it
Lindsay
depends on who
Lohan's
I'm with.
Falling for Christmas? How was that? Did you watch it? Did you watch it with Jillian? Falling for Christmas was the Lindsay Lohan.
No. The only
No?
I would
Okay.
consider Mean Girls a Christmas movie.
It is,
Oh,
actually.
yeah, you're right. Technically, yeah.
Shout out to Tina Fey. Tina Fey wrote that movie.
Shout out to Tina if you're listening.
Yeah. That was
side
pretty
note-
crazy Lohan.
Was it? Or yeah, I guess so. It was like
Yes.
right before.
Yeah, I think so. She was right before she probably went nuts, and now she just made a new Christmas movie called Falling for Christmas, which I guess is like a Overboard ripoff, but it's set in Christmas time, which sounds cute. probably
Oh yeah,
Fun.
I heard about
Probably,
this.
it's probably something. It's probably fine.
I was always a Lohan fan.
I
RV
watched
Fully Loaded.
I watched a pretty bad Christmas movie a couple of days ago called, I think, Surviving Christmas. It was with Ben Affleck and James Gandolfini
Yeah, I've seen Catherine O'Hara.
and Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah, I've
Yes.
seen that movie.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty,
old.
pretty ridiculous. Where
Yeah.
he hires a family to be his family for Christmas because they currently live in like his old family home or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
What
love James
about,
Gandolfini.
What about the other Ben Affleck Christmas classic,
Reindeer Games? That's a fucking crazy movie. Charlie Sterling is naked in that movie.
I don't know if I've seen that. I'm not sure. I don't remember that.
John Frankenheimer.
I don't think I saw it. I know the name and the title. I'm
Frankenheimer.
familiar with what it is, but I don't know what it is.
It's like a
No, the name, the title,
movie-
and the synopsis. I don't know.
Gary
I don't know
Sinise-
the synopsis. I know the name and the title and the people in it.
Gary Sinise is the bad guy. It's great. Lieutenant
Okay.
Dan.
That sounds
Lieutenant
sick.
Dan, ice cream.
You ever see the movie Ronin with De Niro?
No, is that a Christmas movie?
No, but that same director. Good movie.
Oh, okay.
We should watch Ronin if you've never seen Ronin. That's a pretty sick movie.
I don't. I may have. I'm not. I don't know. I'm not for totally sure.
Pretty good movie. Pretty good. Pretty,
Pretty
good.
good.
Is,
Pretty
is
good.
De Niro? De Niro's got to be in a Christmas movie. Is De Niro in any Christmas movies? One of the Fockers or whatever. That's got to. One of those has to be set in Christmas time. I'd
Probably.
imagine.
Meet the Fockers.
Yeah.
Meet the Fockers, Lost in New York.
Is Godfather Part 2 a Christmas movie?
There's snow in it.
Well, according to Anthony, that makes it a Christmas movie.
I'm just saying, it's in winter time. There's toys everywhere.
Because he's a kid.
Actually, the
Because
first
the fucking even the toy that could have made it easily could have made that a Christmas movie. It's like, here's a late Christmas present. Here's here's a fucking Christmas present. But she's just like, someone stole my fucking bread in the airport, and I have this instead. And here this is how I'm gonna pay to mow my lawn. or not
Georgie's
mow your
definitely
lawn, but-
watching this. He just texted me Ronin. Great movie.
Oh yeah, shout out to Georgie. I know he's been watching. He's been texting me. A little
Shout out
bit
to
here and there.
Georgie. Yeah, he said that tack on Avatar as a sequel, a better sequel.
I didn't see
Okay,
Avatar yet.
I haven't. I'm going to that like tomorrow, I think. So
I'm not
check
gonna
it out.
see that. But
I mean, it
I'm-
looks pretty great.
I'm so scared that it's gonna suck balls because it's 3.5 hours long. I don't want to sit there for a shitty movie, but I'm just kind of going in. All right, I'm hoping for the good, hoping it's good.
I went and saw the
I love James
menu
Cameron.
the other day.
Yeah.
And I walked into Avatar before I walked into the menu just to kind of see what was the hype, see if it was any good, and it looked really bad.
Looked bad. How long?
looked
How
bad?
long did you see? What did you
I
see?
mean, just like I watched like 2 minutes of it. It just I was
Okay.
watching it and he was just like, "We gotta save you," and he was like, "You save me." It was so stupid.
You kind of came in like during a random time. Do you know, like, was
Yeah,
it in the middle of
absolute
it?
random. It looked fucking stupid. I'm not gonna watch it.
Okay.
0 out of 10.
Based off your 2-minute
Mm-hmm.
2-minute
Yeah.
random
Well,
part.
I mean, I think seeing it in the movie theater is an experience to be experienced in 3D. So I'm definitely going to see it in 3D.
Fuck 3D though. I haven't gone to a 3D movie since I think the first one.
And that's
like,
why I'll see that movie in 3D because it was
Yeah.
shot that way. You know what I mean?
I think it's-
I'll watch that.
because like the
over it.
trailer looks bad in the sense where like it's using that gimmick of like things like coming out of the screen at you in the trailer, and it's like
He was
That's so
jumping. There's
fucking
like
cheesy
the
back
way
in the
the
day,
way they
man.
were jumping, like at the camera. Saying that was what I was watching. I was seeing
Yeah.
that shit. I was like, I'm fucking sticky.
So that might be jarring not seeing it in 3D. You're
It's like
probably
the sticky
so you're right in that
bandits.
sense. But
It's
oh my
crazy to
God.
think that you guys love T2 so much and then you're not going to see a James Cameron movie.
I am going to see
They're
it. I love
completely
James
different movies.
Cameron, but
Yeah, but I mean,
Was that
that's
having-
a-
I'm
what
going.
does that have to do with anything?
I'm
The
going.
first one was
in-
great.
I'm going in with great
saw the first one.
hesitation. I'm going in with low expectations. So, but I'm going in, still going to see it,
Still going.
still going, still
That's
doing it.
Jake, I'm
I'm
really
going- and I
proud
think-
of you. I'm
And
really
I think
proud of you. I
Babylon
hope-
the next day, another movie I'm scared to go see.
Don't be scared.
Babylon also looks like it could be really bad by a really good director and a really long as well. So
Nothing about Babylon looks bad to me.
it looks ridiculous.
Babylon's the
It looks ridiculous, but that's the point of the movie.
Exactly.
I
It's
just
supposed to be
watched a
ridiculous.
trailer to Babylon. What is Babylon? Is that Damien Chazelle's new movie?
That's
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And about like old
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Yeah, I'm in.
It just yeah.
I
it
hear
just
Margot
looks, like,
Robbie's pretty great. in it.
Wacky, man. Yeah,
Oh,
hopefully.
you didn't.
I mean,
you didn't like Whiplash?
I love his other work. I love Whiplash. I
You didn't
love
like La
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 Land?
Land. I thought First Man was good. Like he's done only good things. So it's one of those things like where I
Interesting.
expect good things, but like it just doesn't.
It's
Something
got
looks
Brad
off
Pitt
about
in it, bro. It's gonna be great.
I don't know, and I love all those
I
people.
love all the actors. I
so
love the writer director. I think it's going to be a shitty movie.
I'm scared.
I loved all his
I'm
other
going-
movies.
I'm
not gonna like
scared.
this one.
That's all I'm saying. Going
I
in,
read-
gonna get
I read a-
addicted? Nah,
going
man.
in with hesitation.
I read an interview with Brad Pitt where he was talking about how they filmed the opening scene of the movie is like a 30-minute orgy scene. And he said they filmed it for 2 weeks, and he was like, "Yeah, even for me, it was pretty fucking crazy." I was just laughing. He's like, it's all real. Like, there's no CGI. It's all real.
Real
I'm like, "Oh,
dicks.
shit."
I
Real
guess-
D, real P, real D in the P, real D in the B, and the B in the A. You know, there's all the shit.
Right. Like the fact that it's like
They were
over
fucking.
3 hours seems crazy to me. Like
3
it's-
hours of
yeah,
fucking?
Over 4 hours?
No, it's over 3 hours. Did I say four?
Oh, okay.
Over 3 hours. It's
Oh, I
like three,
was
it's
like,
like 3
what?
hours and like 20 minutes or some shit.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, he's only made good movies.
He
And it's
wrote-
about something he really loves, and he's real. I'll watch it.
I'm just
not gonna say
scared
it's gonna be good.
Chazelle's gonna go in like what is that dude's name? That did like Deer Hunter, that direction.
Oh, Michael
like where he,
Cimino.
yeah, like
Michael Cimino?
makes like amazing movies and then just starts going off the deep end with weird shit. But
We'll
we'll
see.
see.
I don't
hope
think
it's
weird's
good.
bad though. I mean, if it's weird, it's cool. Like I think
Yeah.
weird's interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. I just don't want that 3 hours to go by super slow and uncomfortably.
I mean, if it makes you feel uncomfortable, it still made you feel it. You know, it's a good thing.
That's true. But uncomfortable, I mean in the seats, not
Oh, you mean like
in-
physically uncomfortable?
physically.
I think you got a better chance of feeling that in Avatar than in Babylon, to be honest.
Yeah, let's see. Hope so.
I bring my own seats.
Anyway,
All right.
what do
All
we
right,
got?
well-
What are we doing? What do we got at Home Alone? Are we done? Are we?
Well,
we
I
got
mean,
more comments.
I think the thing we haven't talked about that we all know is what we love about it is the violence of it, like the kid violence of what happens. Like that's the best part of these movies is seeing those guys get their ass kicked, but it's comedic.
Like booby
you know what I
traps.
mean? It's
This
like,
movie made
yeah,
me
it's
not
like-
only learn what a booby trap was, but like I started making my own booby traps. And then I realized like the ones
Did
he
you
was
really?
doing are absolutely deadly, and I shouldn't be doing that. Like what one thing I know I made was a hammer that swung down when you opened the door.
oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. Now I was a
I'd
wild
always-
child, but I learned from the best, Macaulay. Kieran's brother.
I'd always put the like a cup of water or some shit like on the door frame where it was like slightly open, so when people would walk in, water would fall on them.
Classic.
I don't know how
classic.
many times I did that. Yeah, yeah.
You know, I did one.
Just based off of these goofs.
It was fucked up. This was in This was in like on a band trip. We were in Dayton, Ohio, and it was a winter percussion like world champions, and we lost the first day. So we were there for like a week just watching other bands. And so we got creative and we were having fun. We were doing prank wars on each other in each other's hotel rooms. And it literally went from like just like pouring water on people's beds to literally like drawing happy faces in human feces on the fucking mirrors of our bathrooms. Booby traps, though. I made a booby trap.
Out of hand.
Out of hand, dude. Way out of hand. I made a booby trap that was it was two bowls that were held together like this. One was fastened to the door, and one was fastened to the wall. And so obviously, when the door opened, it opened the bowls, and whatever was in the bowl fell out, and we put shit in the bowl. And when someone opened that door, and shit fell on them, and it was fucked up.
Yeah, playing with feces way too much.
A lot of poop and a lot of pee. We peed on things. We pooped on things. We cut our pubes. It was bad.
Wow.
It was bad. It's something I would never do now, but it seemed like a good idea at the time. Anyway.
Yeah.
Did you guys do any booby traps?
No.
You guys weren't booby trap fans?
You guys don't know I remember Micro
like
Machines.
Figure 4 deadfall or something?
I do remember really loving Micro Machines. Those were fun.
I was a Hot Wheels guy. I had
both.
I never had
the Micro Machines were cool. I do remember those good Hot Wheels tracks though, where you can put them on and they like move and shit. That was fun.
Hot Wheels was where it was at, man.
It was pretty cool.
They had really dope designs.
Yeah. Well, Home Alone.
Home Alone.
Great series. If you're talking about the first two, the rest of them.
You want to rank them? Rank them from worst to best.
I'm into it.
Well, since I only saw 3, I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1.
I'm gonna put the latest.
Oh, you
one.
went backwards. I got you.
I'm gonna put the latest one as last. I hate it. Hated it. What do you think is the worst one, Jake?
I think the 4th one was the worst one.
Really?
It was upsetting that it was like trying to like be the same people. It bothered me a lot. And I thought the Smart House shit wasn't even like really that cool.
Yeah, you're right. No, yeah, I agree. 4 is definitely my second worst. Nah, those are interchangeable then. I forgot about the 4th one. Because I kind of liked the 5th one.
There was elements I liked about the 5th one.
So
I was having a hard time deciding whether or not 5th and 6th were one or not was worse than the other. I think I'm gonna go 5 is worse than 6, but barely, because a lot of it was super cheesy, but it had its moments.
So you're going 4, 5, 6?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going 6, 4, 5.
Okay. And then after that, I'm going 3. 3 is 3.
Yeah.
And I think it's obvious. 3, 2, 1.
3, 1, 2.
From there
is obvious.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So 3, 2, 1. 1's your favorite, and 3.
I have so much confidence. I'm just assuming everyone just
3, 1,
thinks
2.
that.
Yeah, no, it's not obvious. Look what's happening in the background.
I forget you're there.
Running through New York City. No Micro Machines necessary in this one. It's on a public road. This is great. Then he goes back to the Plaza Hotel.
I guess as a kid, I never really gave a shit about New York. Like I never went there as a child. I related more to the first one because like the suburban world.
Agree to disagree?
Yeah. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
La, 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 la.